This landlord thought he could get away with treating people unfairly until karma came knocking. When Marcus, a hard-working plumber, arrives at an old rental house for an emergency repair, he's met with nothing but disrespect from Mr. Whittaker, the arrogant landlord. From the moment Marcus steps inside, Whittaker looks down on him, questioning his skills and making it clear he doesn't think Marcus belongs in his fancy neighborhood. But when a burst pipe threatens to destroy the entire house, suddenly, Whittaker has no choice but to rely on the very man he belittled. Marcus gets to work, fixing the disaster just in time, but what happens next shocks everyone. The truth about Whittaker's shady business practices is exposed, and instead of celebrating his home being saved, he finds himself facing consequences he never saw coming. Now the question is, will Marcus finally get the respect he deserves, or is it too late for Whittaker to make things right? Marcus wipes the sweat from his forehead as he tightens the last pipe. The flooding has stopped, and the house is safe for now. But instead of gratitude, Whittaker scoffs. "Took you long enough," he mutters, barely looking at Marcus. It's clear he still doesn't respect the man who just saved his property. Marcus doesn't respond. He's used to people like Whittaker. But as he gathers his tools, he overhears something that makes him pause. A tenant, a single mother named Lisa, whispers to her neighbor, "If this place had flooded, maybe we'd finally be free." Marcus glances at her, confused. Whittaker, noticing the exchange, suddenly stiffens. "Mind your business and get out," he snaps at Marcus. Something isn't right. The way the tenants look at Whittaker, fearful, resentful, it's more than just an unfair landlord. As Marcus walks out, he realizes he might have just stepped into something much bigger than a plumbing job. As Marcus loads his tools into his truck, Lisa hurries outside. She hesitates before speaking, glancing back at the house like she's afraid someone might be listening. "Thank you for fixing the pipes," she says softly. "But you don't know what you just did." Marcus frowns. "What do you mean?" She exhales sharply, glancing around. Whittaker doesn't fix anything. He lets this place fall apart so tenants get fed up and leave. Then he jacks up the rent for new people who don't know any better. Marcus feels his jaw tighten. He's seen landlords like this before, greedy, careless, willing to put families at risk for an extra dollar. But something about this feels worse. The way Lisa speaks, the way Whittaker reacted when the house was saved, it's almost like he wanted the flood. Before Marcus can say more, the front door swings open. Whittaker steps out, watching them closely. "You're still here," he says, his voice sharp. Marcus knows one thing: he's not leaving until he gets answers. Marcus holds Whittaker's stare, refusing to be intimidated. "Just finishing up," he says, but he doesn't move. Lisa quickly steps back, retreating toward the house. It's clear she doesn't want trouble. Whittaker crosses his arms. "Good, 'cause I don't need people loitering on my property." His voice is sharp, but there's something else, unease. Marcus notices how Whittaker shifts his weight, how his eyes dart toward the house like he's hiding something. Then, a loud creak comes from inside. A window on the second floor opens slightly, and Marcus catches a glimpse of another tenant, an older man, peering out before quickly disappearing. It's as if the entire house is holding its breath. Marcus doesn't back down. "You knew those pipes were bad, didn't you?" he asks. "You were hoping they'd burst." Whittaker stiffens. "That's ridiculous," he snaps, but his voice cracks just enough to confirm what Marcus already suspects. Before Marcus can push further, Lisa's voice comes from behind. "He's been threatening to evict us," she blurts out. "We don't have anywhere else to go." Marcus clenches his fists. He came here to fix a plumbing issue, but now he's facing something bigger. A man willing to destroy his own property just to force people out. The question is, how can he stop him before it's too late? Before Marcus can respond, a loud crash echoes from inside the house. A tenant screams. Lisa gasps and rushes to the door, and without thinking, Marcus follows. Inside, water drips from the ceiling where the pipe had nearly burst. But that's not what caused the noise. In the hallway, a chunk of the ceiling has caved in, exposing rotting wood and mold. The tenants stare in shock. Woodtaker's face turns pale. "Everyone out, now," Marcus shouts. He knows the structure isn't safe. But as people scramble, something unexpected happens. One of the tenants, the older man Marcus saw earlier, steps forward, pointing a shaking finger at Woodtaker. "You knew about this. We told you for months, and you ignored us." The murmurs grow louder. Others start speaking up, sharing their stories. Broken heaters, leaking roofs, black mold. Marcus realizes the real reason Woodtaker wanted them out. It wasn't just about raising the rent. He was covering something up. Then, Lisa pulls out her phone. "I recorded everything," she says, her voice steady. "You're done, Woodtaker." For the first time, Woodtaker looks afraid. But Marcus knows this fight isn't over yet. Woodtaker's face twists with panic as Lisa holds up her phone. The tenants crowd around, their voices rising. "You put our lives at risk," someone shouts. "You knew this place was falling apart." Another adds, "The truth is out, and there's nowhere for Woodtaker to hide." Marcus steps forward, his voice calm but firm. "You let this place rot because you thought no one would fight back. But now they have proof." Woodtaker scoffs, trying to regain control. "You think some video will change anything? This is my property." Just then, flashing red and blue lights flood through the windows. The police pull up, followed by a city inspector. Lisa had sent the video out before Woodtaker could stop her. As officers step inside, they take one look at the collapsed ceiling and shaking tenants before turning to Woodtaker. "We've received multiple complaints," one officer says, "and now we have evidence." Woodtaker stammers, but it's too late. The inspector hands him a notice. "Your lease is revoked. This building is condemned until further notice." The tenants gasp. Marcus watches as the weight of reality crashes over Woodtaker. He's lost everything, not just his property, but his power. As Woodtaker is escorted out, Marcus turns to Lisa. "You did the right thing." She smiles. "We all did." And with that, a broken house becomes something more, a second chance for the people who call it home. In the days that follow, the tenants finally breathe easy. With Woodtaker gone, city officials step in to make repairs, ensuring the building is safe again. No more ignored calls, no more unfair evictions, just people finally getting the homes they deserve. Marcus stops by one last time, making sure everything is in order. Lisa greets him with a grateful smile. "If you hadn't come that day, we'd still be stuck in his mess." Marcus chuckles. "I just came to fix some pipes. You all did the real work." As he heads to his truck, he glances back at the building. It's still old, still worn, but now it holds something stronger than bricks: hope. Driving away, Marcus knows he won't forget this job anytime soon. He didn't just fix a leak, he helped repair something much bigger. And sometimes, the right people show up exactly when they're needed most.